I'd been mad when someone created a VR console off a Kickstarter campaign off the premise of creating VR systems for the average consumer, ones that we can afford, only to turn around and sell it for $2 billion to Facebook. In the end, I reasoned that at least they kept on the initial promise of a rather more affordable VR system, while also not simply being a console that pushed Farmville and Candy Crush 2.0. Well, here's to hoping they aren't able to Sega themselves into the ground. I hadn't complained much about my Quest 2. I figured at the offset of the cost I was going to lose some features. The first problem became recording. I recorded a video and it wasn't in 1080p. At this point of the YouTube game, it's pretty much 1080p or give up, almost reaching loading at 4K or don't bother. The Oculus records in a square box resolution. To stretch or not to stretch would become the question. An average viewer might skip entirely. On the other hand, someone very keen to resolution and quality might disregard a stretch video as a write-off. Enter SideQuest. I could run ABD commands through SideQuest and record in 1080p on the Oculus. The offset was the bigger files and having the lower memory storage. The recording symbol was annoying. Well, let's remove that. Why would anyone want that there anyways? Even if it's not in the footage. Until it became apparent that videos weren't even recording. Two problems arose from that. One, sometimes the recording wouldn't really start in the first place. I couldn't figure out why, but the only solution was a fresh restart. Except every time I restart the Oculus, I have to re-input the ABD commands and test whether or not they applied. Anytime I got comfortable was when something would fail. Think I'm recording? Didn't double check? Definitely not. The second problem arose with that file size. After endless searching, I came across a post from someone rather intuitive who suggested it was formatted in a FAT32 style for memory writing. Anyone who's tried transferring anything over 4 gigabytes knows you can't. I had the answer to my problem, but also more headaches and a bunch of corrupted media files. Online I'd come across some posts with solutions to reclaim the footage, but my head was seriously starting to hurt by this point. And the next thing that happened was my expensive computer I'd bought for the purpose of producing and rendering 3D animation completely crapped out. My world crashed along with my laptop. Everything I'd been working on from sunrise to sundown for the past couple of years. After a few days of sweating, I managed to get it running with a fresh Windows 10 install, and most of my data files were still intact. Okay, I can deal with a fresh install of all the programs. Not a big deal. I'd actually intended for a full reset. Oh hey, Windows has dropped Windows 11. Since I've gone this far, might as well take their free update before they start charging money for it. No harm, no foul, right? Wrong. All this stuff's happening, Christmas is around the corner, I'm trying to do all this stuff for 2 guys, 1 couch, trying to write a book, trying to get my apprenticeship done so I can work on my nonprofit. Now I can't figure out why my Quest isn't being recognized by my PC. As far as the computer can tell, it just looks like a removable hard drive. Well, okay, I can't change the resolution, but at least I can transfer my media over. Unfortunately, I have to sell it to algorithms, so I definitely need some Horizon footage to boost channel analytics. I got a question for you guys. Do you guys want to buy some illegal NFTs? Horizon Worlds, the metaverse drops. Oh my god, I look like Mark Zuckerberg. This is terrible. Buddy's bought some property, and I'm already confused about what this medium is. It's for 18 plus. Initially, I bought this headset for my little brother to utilize. I wanted him to have a boost of appeal among his high school friends. I know how tough that era was for me. This didn't seem like a problem since they'd announced shared accounts were on the way. It's out now, so I made a second account actually needing one and hooked it up to Facebook. Joined Horizons after some first day, not able to join glitches, record some footage, hook up to my hard drive. Wait, where's the shared folder? Another long search through the forum leads me to a post on the official Oculus forums. Not even primary users can access files on the shared account. The shared account couldn't send access, couldn't create copies and send them to the primary. Nothing. The shared files are just in some inaccessible void. Now I needed the Oculus to connect properly so I could get those files off, and I might as well try to get my resolution back. Another endless search and I came across another post from Oculus. Windows 11 is new and Oculus isn't really compatible with it. No. For me, it's nearly broken. Install these drivers, they say, with pictures to boot. I download said drivers, but Windows 11 offers me no options for recognizing or installing those drivers. By the time I figured out Windows 11 had become my root issue, some 2 weeks had passed and the option to revert back to Windows 10 was gone. So I'm getting frustrated finally with this entire thing. I'll just upload the video, download it, edit it, and re-upload it. Except my only option on the shared account for sharing was to Facebook. Facebook has always taken twice to thrice as long to upload a video as any other platform, regardless of my connection speed. It's why I've never considered it an option like YouTube for curating content. YouTube had always been better, and for an example of just how slow Facebook is for me and my out-of-city 0.6 megabits per second connection speed, I tried to upload the 2 gigabyte video to Facebook. According to my calculator, it should have taken between 6 to 8 hours. I woke up some 16 hours later and no notification. I looked online and no video posted. At this point, I texted a friend and asked if I could steal his internet, which was some 25 times faster, losing valuable time on that analytics. For a donut, I uploaded 3 videos to YouTube. I went home shortly after. I was checking out my Facebook some 2 hours later and noticed the first video had finally uploaded. And unlike YouTube, there's no indication bar. Do these things even upload in sleep mode? I doubt it. Which brings me to today. It feels like I'm fighting a war with Oculus. When I download the video this way, I go down to 720 by 720 resolution from 1024 by 1024. I have to assume I've lost some bit of quality there. Things were now going okay for a couple days. I had figured out if I put the strap over the head sensor when I was taking it off, I could set the headset down and it would continue uploading to YouTube. That worked fine up until this morning. I went to check out the podcast world and to see what everyone had been doing and decided to record some footage. I went to upload. I took the headset off and the nightmare started. Even with don't sleep for 4 hours, it would still turn off within minutes. I assumed it was probably the sensor, perhaps because the sensor no longer understands what it's even trying to sense. I assumed it was probably more of a problem with the headset not moving at all, which was confirmed. Some were having their headsets turned off while they were doing things like watching Netflix or Amazon Prime Video. But most of these issues just seem so simple to fix, or like they shouldn't be there in the first place. With the amount of staff, at least a list of reasons why some of these features aren't implemented. Don't wear your headset outside just leaves people asking why. It took some bright random individual to explain to me how the sunlight can burn holes into the resolution via the optical lenses. At first I'd kept a cool head figuring it would prevail, but really started to lose my mind when I looked at the timestamp of the most recent post. This one issue has been ongoing on the official Oculus forums for longer than I've even owned my Quest 2. What lit the fuse was their solution, was the solution they'd provided for pretty much 95% of all Oculus related issues I'd come to. A factory reset. I shouldn't have to factory reset my entire device every time your OS doesn't agree with simple parameters. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy my Quest 2. It's a love-hate relationship, and I couldn't tell you if a VR unit that costs upwards of 3 times more fixes all of these issues, but I have to imagine it would alleviate a lot of the nightmare. If these problems sound like nightmares that would affect your reasons for purchasing, you might want to consider those more expensive options. For a casual game or a family just chilling, this is a great unit for the price it is. But if you're a streamer or anything more, I have to bet you will get anything better out of anything other than this or a PSVR. It's why I make the Sega statement. Meta is sitting there going, I don't know what we're doing wrong. They've stated they're focused on money, and it shows in their marketing because no one really knows what they're even marketing here. But they've also marketed the system in an Apple-only style and released the metaverse for Oculus owners only. You can't limit your market and simultaneously ask why the market's so small without me Jackie Chan memeing in my brain. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can find a lot more all the way over around in these areas, somewhere around here. Right now I am heading to the metaverse to create a GoldenEye map.